Okay, yeah, yeah, you can start now.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
Yeah, I can see the screen now.
Okay. Um, Good morning, everyone. So, basically, my name is Muhideen. I do Flutter, right? I don't really need to talk much about myself. I believe most of people on the call know what I'm talking about me. So I'll just move straight because of time to what we need to discuss today. So basically, Web3. So how can you interact with a smart contract in your Flutter application? So let me move to slide 3. So this links to uh, GitHub repository of a
Mujeeb, sorry, we are only seeing your screen. We're not seeing your what you're doing. We're only seeing a WordPress.
I'm coming. Give me a minute, please.
Okay, all right.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I was sharing a wrong tab. I didn't even notice. I was sharing a wrong tab. For God's sake. Okay, sorry. Today is just Flutter and Web3. How can you interact with a smart contract, your Flutter application? And this is links to the GitHub repository of what I'm going to be present today. So, slide number 4. So, I don't really want to believe that every person on the call right now, like everybody on the call right now, know something about Web3 and Flutter. So basically, let me just say like we have been hearing about Flutter for a long period of time, and I believe like we have a lot of bosses here that we learn Flutter from, and they still remain our boss. So Flutter is just uh, an SDK to build a mobile application, not just a mobile application, but I mean built across multiple platform. I mean, because if I kind of not really making much sense because Flutter works across multiple platform, and if I'm talking about web now, we are not really talking about application. We are talking about website, which means like Flutter allow you to build a desktop, a website with just what one single code base, right? Then what about Web3? So I think generally for a long period of time we all have heard about cryptocurrency, this and that and stuff like that. So basically, I won't really be explaining much about what cryptocurrency is all about, but in some of what I'm going to be the sort of thing that relates to that, right? But all of this is built on top blockchain, right? And Web3. We have been hearing about Web3, Web2, Web1, and so on and so forth, right? So basically, a Web3 is just kind of a platform uh, communicate, I mean, sharing information between a blockchain network and your any application. It could be mobile app or right. So I give basic interaction of how most of these things normally happen, like how Web3 normally communicates with like how web normally communicates with any blockchain network, or it could be using any kind of framework. So basically, if you look here, we have a smart contract, right? So a smart contract is just a basic code. So some of them doesn't even really used to have much code like your normal code. Like it could be just one lines of code or something like that. And a smart contract can be written in any language. Like for example, most of common uh, language in Web3 currently now that you can use to write a smart contract is we have Solidity. And Solidity is just like a JavaScript, just like JavaScript. And I believe most of us know what JavaScript is all about. And Rust is there. For example, I think the likes of Solana. If you are working on Solana network, Solana is using Rust. Then if you are working on, like, I think near network, near use Solidity, or you can even write Python on near network. And some other language like that. There's the likes of OCaml that you can use to write a smart contract, depend on the network you are working on, right? Then we have a front-end application. And we all know that your front-end application can be a web application or just a mobile application. And if you're talking about the web application, you can use the likes of React or Vue.js or Angular. And if it's mobile, we have the likes of React Native, Flutter, and so on and so forth. So how does these two now able to like communicate together? Information into blockchain. So basically, let me just say, blockchain is just like normal your MySQL engine where you store your data. But there is one word that's normally used in blockchain, which is what? Decentralized. I mean, blockchain is just like a general DB where different networks are connecting together and people interact, sharing information, make a transaction, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, for your front end to be able to like put something into that decentralized into that blockchain, most of front end makes use of something we call SDK, right? That writes in that particular front end language. For example, if you're talking about the likes of React.js, Vue.js, Angular, they make use of something like Web3 package and Web3.js package, and some other package like that that could help you like interact with a blockchain. Now, okay, so your connection between smart contract and blockchain is you have to deploy your smart contract. After writing your smart contract, you compile your code and you test it. If everything works fine, then you can now deploy into any of. And if we are talking about the network nodes, we all know we all know a lot of cryptocurrency, right? Most of them sit under this stuff. The likes of Ethereum, Polygon, Solana, BUSD, stuff like that. BSCEM is Binance Smart Chain. That is the name of Binance network. Then we have the likes of Silo and some other like that, right? And Bitcoin is also part of them, right? So after you deploy your smart contract into any of your blockchain network nodes, then you connect your front end SDK together with your front end to your blockchain. For front end can only do two things into your into blockchain network. First one is to query. Query means you get the data, like you can fetch a record of information that you kind of put there, or you fetch a transaction. Why you can make a transaction? Make a transaction is kind of well, I will explain that later once we move forward. So all of this is happening through making a kind of API query using AppPC, right? So that's just basically how the smart contract, front end, and net and blockchain interacts together. From smart contract to blockchain, then from front end to blockchain. So let me move to next slide. Before I move on, sorry, I don't know if like probably like a question or you don't really get what I'm trying to like explain in this little diagram. Hello. Okay, okay, cool. I think let me move on. So now let's move to like how do you even write a smart contract or and how do you deploy it to any chain? But for here, I'm going to be using Polygon network here. So and I'll be using Solidity to write the smart contract. So to deploy your smart contract or write it, mostly if you are using Solidity, I do suggest like if you are a beginner, like you don't really have much advanced knowledge about uh, write this smart contract and deploy your smart contract. I just suggest like people to use Remix. So Remix is just it's just an online ID that allow you to write your Solidity program and deploy it to any network, just like VS Code, but it's an online ID. So basically, if you are using Solidity, there's two-way or I don't. For me, I think for now that's the only way I know. There's two way you can do it. Either use Remix or build from scratch. I mean, build from scratch require you to have some advanced knowledge about Node.js and how to like configure everything from the ground. But with Remix already do everything for you. The only thing you need to do is just write your code, compile, run it, test it, then deploy. Fairly simple. So I'll be let me navigate to Remix here. Remix.ethereum.org. So this is how Remix look like. I put some screenshots in my slide of how Remix look like. If you open Remix, this is how Remix look like. Um, So it gives you a workspace. For example, I have a lot of stuff inside my own workspace here, and Remix also allow you to like connect your GitHub account where you can be pushing every single uh, contract you write into your GitHub account and some other stuff like that. So if you open, there is a folder called contracts. Once you open the contract, you will see some example of contracts. If you have not used it before, you will see example of contracts, and you can write your own contract. If you are just like you have not used it before, and you are trying to use it, all you need to do is just there's some icon here that you can click it to like, for example, let's say the first minimum 2022, then the Solidity extension is just sold like that. Then you can now write your code here. That's all. So, but for here, for this particular presentation, I already have a smart contract here that I'm going to be using. That's forum v1.sol. So this is basically how a Solidity program look like. The first thing is you need to, if you are writing a Solidity program, you need to declare your license, the type of license you are using for your program, right? Then this one is just how to write a comment. This is just a comment in Solidity, and you can see like there is a lot of some kind of familiarity between Solidity and JavaScript, right? But Solidity is typed language that you have to like declare the type of uh, the data type for your variable for your okay. Can you see it now? You can't. I don't think you can zoom here. Okay, yeah. So this is it. Sorry. Can you see it better now?
Yes, it's much
Is it
better
better
now.
now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this one is just basically how you can write a comment. You can see like it's kind of close to how you do it in JavaScript, TypeScript, and some other language like that. What this one means is it's also a comment, but this statement here means like we're using MIT license for this particular program. Then this particular line here means Solidity also have fashion. So what this particular here means is just you declare the fashion of the Solidity you are trying to use for this particular contract. Then every contract look like class. I mean, I don't know, but I believe we are familiar with all this OOP paradigm where you write a class. So contract is just like a class in Solidity, right? But instead of using a class, it's called contract. The name of your contract here. So I just basically want to explain what some of these jargons means. A struct means like I don't know, but for some of us that write like Rust, there is something like a struct in Rust and some other language like that, right? So struct is just like a class to where you declare the type of data that you want to have in that. And basically, we have a struct name comment here, where in that struct, we have an ID, which is what an integer of size int 32 that we name it topic that we want to be discussing about. Then the address, which is the address of the creator, the person that creates this particular comment. Then we have a message too, and we have a created at int also. So basically, in there's nothing like a data type for date, but for you to store a date, you need to store it in form of an integer. Like for example, in JavaScript, there's a way you can get a timestamp. So if you want to store your date here, you have to store it in form of a timestamp into blockchain. Then we have here to like know numbers of comments in the numbers of topic that we have and the numbers of comments that we have inside our program is also an int. Then we have mapping too. So mapping is just allow you to create a variable. This is our variable name. Then create a list. It's just like a list in other language, like a list that can only accept what the types of comment. It together is it. This actually map it in form of a topic. I don't know if you understand. For example, now I want to store a list of comments that relates to the first minute. So the topic will be a string, and this is what the string means here, which means that anything that relates to the first minute will be mapped to the first minute, and the comment there is a what? Is a list, right? So in this particular mapping, we can have list of topic there, which is what is a string, and that string can be mapped to list of comments too, just like a one-to-many relation. For those who do SQL, I mean database and some other stuff, you understand that relationship. Like if you have one-to-many, many-to-many, stuff like that. That's just what happened in an event. So you can fire an event, anything when something happened or stuff like that. You can just fire an event, and that event can notify your front end that, oh, someone just do this, someone just do that, or you can fire an event and listen to it somewhere else to like probably you want to map it actually mean. Then to write a function, this is how you can write a function your function can return data, or it can be a void that doesn't return any data. But in a Solidity program, anywhere you see public field return means that it return a data to where you are communicating to. Then we have this one is just to like get all comments in a particular topic. And you can see that we have a parameter here named topic, which is the string that we have here that maps to our comments. Then it can return that list of comments that we have in that particular topic here. Then in our comments, we have strings for data, for topic, and the one for message. So in this particular function, you can see that it doesn't return anything. It's just a public class that other application can actually call, right? So you can have a public, you can have a private function, just like you normally have in the class. So just know that if you are coming from other language that you have not familiar with Solidity before, once you understand the concept of OOP, you get to understand most of this stuff that we have here. Then a comment, we have the comment here. We create the comment, then push it into what? Into the list of the particular topic, right? Just as I mentioned, JavaScript, you understand that you just push this particular comment into the list of comment that belongs to that topic. Then we emit a function here. Emit here means like you fire at that particular event. Then an application from outside can now listen to that particular event, just like that. So once you do that, you need to press this play button. This play button means compile. Once you compile your code, it now tells you whether there's an error or there's something you are missing of, like probably like a data type or some other stuff like that. Once you press, just press it. As long as you see this green icon here, once you see this green icon here, means like you are good to go. Like everything you write is correct. So normally, we do normally see like, I think for Remix here, you can see like, I think Remix have like 3 icons. There's one like a yellow. That yellow means a warning that probably you declare a variable, right? Let's say we declare a topic here and we are not using it. It will show yellow here that, oh, this particular contract you compile, there is a particular error there or a kind of warning. But if it's red, it means like that particular contract is unable to compile successfully. So it will now tell you what particular error that you have. I think, let me open, let me try to compile this. I think, yeah, for example, now you can see it tells you that, okay, you have one error. And if you navigate through your code, you now see where the error is. So that's one of beautiful thing about Remix. If you are the one that writing it, if you are the one that you do the configuration from the start using VS Code, it might be a bit hard because you have to do a lot of configuration in order to like get some of this view. So tell you why you have the error, why is it like that, stuff like that. And I think, I don't know if I have the one that relates to yellow. Okay, so for example, now we have it here. So this will tell you where, why do you have this particular stuff. But once you see like a green, it means like your code compiled successful, you don't have any error, you don't have any unused variable or whatever. So then you can now move to that. You can now click on that icon. When you click on that icon, it shows you the, you can choose a compiler here. There's a list of compiler here, means that the list of version of Solidity that's currently available on Remix. These are the list from version 0.111 to version 0.8, 0.8.17. That's the I think that's the latest version of Solidity. Then, if you are not too sure, you can still click compile again, like to compile it again. Probably you want to change a version here, apart from the one you use here. But when you are deploying, anytime you are deploying this, it will use this particular stuff. But Remix allow you to like change, to like test across any Solidity version. then it's automatically compile for you. If there's any error, you get to see again. Then now you have your contract here. Now there's something for your front end SDK to connect to your blockchain, right? Your front end SDK needs two things. Your front end SDK need what? Two things. Because you can't, for example, now if you write that, you know that if you want to connect to any other language that is not related to that, you need what? You need an API or something that they build the backend on that you can connect to. But it's not like that when it comes to blockchain, right? So in blockchain, you need something we call ABI, right? For every blockchain node that supports EVM, I mean Ethereum virtual machine, most of them support Solidity, and most of them use something we call ABI. So ABI is just a JSON file. Once you compile your code and it compiles successfully, you see this icon here called ABI, and there's another one called bytecode. So a bytecode is just another file too that contain everything in your smart contract, but in form of what? In form of 0 and 1. I mean, we are familiar with binary. So it's just in form of 0 and 1, 0 and 1. But for bytecode ABI, for ABI is just a JSON file that contains every single thing, but in form of JSON. So you need to copy it. Once you copy it, you need to go and save it in a file because you need it. That's number one thing you need. Then once you do that, you need to now you need to click on this icon, which is deploy and run. Once you click on this deploy and run, you need to select what? An environment. An environment is where you want to deploy it to. And no, not really. Like it's just like a provider that you want to use to deploy your smart contract, right? There's a Remix VM. The Remix VM is just a local virtual machine that you can deploy to. But here we're going to be using MetaMask. So all you just need to do is make sure you install MetaMask into your browser. For you to do that, you can just go to your Chrome extension, search for MetaMask. Once you install it, you will see the icon here. I have a lot of provider here. There's MetaMask. There's I think Texo Wallet, Silo Desktop Wallet, Phantom for Solana, and some other. I think I hide some of them. So I'll be using MetaMask here. You just need to enable it. So I need to go back here. Let me select the contracts. Then go back here. Now I can now use my MetaMask. I think so. This is how MetaMask look like. Once you do that, you need to click on your environment, then look for what? Injected provider. So this other provider, there where you can also deploy it to. There's Ganache, there's Adat, there's Foundry, Wallet Connect, and some other like that. But I'll be using MetaMask. Now, in your MetaMask, if you're just installing MetaMask, you only have Ethereum on your MetaMask. So for you to like have Polygon or some other network, you need to add them. There's a way you can add a network. I already had Polygon there. Once I do that, the network you want to deploy to, make sure it's the one that is in what? The active. Like for example, if you want to switch a wallet, you just click A, then you can switch wallet probably to Silo or Avalanche or Ethereum. But make sure that the network you want to deploy to is the one that is what? Active. And make sure that this space show connected. If it's not connected, you need to reconnect again. So once you do that, it will provide you some information here. Then you can now click deploy. For example, let me try. You can click deploy. Then MetaMask will ask you to confirm this transaction. I don't know if you can see the console here, it tells you that okay, this contract is deployed already deployed successfully. Then it will now show you here that okay, you have deployed this contract. Now after you do that, you need basically in the entire cryptocurrency, Web3, everything, there's something they call wallet and wallet address, right? And in the whole thing, wallet address is they're categorized into two. Like there are two ways you can get a wallet address. There is smart contract address and I think a custodian address. So a custodian address is kind of an hardware that allow you to create a wallet where you can accept any cryptocurrency into. But for every custodian address, you need everything that relates to custodian address is in like you are the one that holds it. If any problem happen in any exchange or stuff like that, you don't have problem because your fund is in that particular custodian wallet. So with your private key, you can have access to it, stuff like that. But for smart contract address, right? For smart contract address, you can only get smart contract address when you deploy a smart contract. And that address relates to that particular smart contract. And for you to communicate to that, for example, now, let's assume that I have two databases, right? The only way I can differentiate between that two databases is the name, right? Probably I have one for GDG Mina, I have one for GDSC Footmina. For me to differentiate between that two databases, that I can only do that because of what the database name. So for blockchain to know that you are trying to communicate to this particular contract, they make use of what smart contract address. Once you deploy, Remix give you this icon to copy the address of that smart contract to deploy. You can copy like this, then you just paste it to somewhere too. So that's the only two things you need: the smart contract address and the smart contract ABI file. And once you deploy successful, you can also interact into that blockchain using Remix. For example, the two functions we have here, if you have more than two functions, everything you see here is going to be more than this. It's going to be the number of functions that you have inside your contract. Because I have two, that's why I only have two buttons here. So for me to interact here, all you just need to do is expand this. Once you expand, for example, I want to talk about, the topic is Flutter event, right? And the message, let me say, hi everyone. Then you click on transact. So once you click on transact, the provider you are using will give you a prompt to like accept that transaction. I mean, are you the one that, it's more like authorize that particular transaction, that, oh, are you the one that wants to do this? Okay, yeah. If it's not you, you click on reject. If it's you, you click on confirm. Then it's automatically sent. It's automatically sent into that particular blockchain. Then to get that topic, right? To get that message that I sent to blockchain, I can just copy this topic, paste it here. For example, I need to expand like this. Okay, just paste. Then click on call. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this particular place. If you expand now, if you come to this decoded output, you will see that I have a list here, and is a tuple that contains a list of what. You can now see that Flutter event, that's the topic. Then hi everyone, that's the message I sent to the blockchain. This one, 16 is a timestamp of when I sent the message. You can see from this function, block.timestamp, it get the timestamp, the current timestamp in the block, then send it. Then this is the address of me that sent the message. Now, once you do that, there's another way you can verify your contract. Is you need to navigate to you need to find your way around to move to the particular blockchain you deploy to. For example, we are using Polygon testnet, and the address is mumbai.polygonscan.com. You go there, paste the address of the smart contract there, click on search, then you can see this is the smart contract address, and this is the person that creates. Then we only have two words, two transactions. One is the one when we create the contract, and this one is the other one when we send the comment, which is what, hi everyone. If you click transaction at here, if you click on it, yeah, you click on it, you're supposed to, yeah. If you scroll down, problem. If you scroll down here on this more, you see the everything here represent the old data that you sent in form of binary, right? If you click on the code input data, you can now see what we send into the blockchain. Flutter events, hi everyone. That's all. So for you to know anything that happened to in the smart contract you deploy, go to the where you deploy to, then paste the address of the smart contracts, search it, you will see every single transaction that happened there. Probably you send money or you write into the contract. That's all. I don't know if there's any question in that particular place. I think we are done with this part, and this is already like how I do everything about that. So the next part I'm going to be talking about is how can you now interact with this particular smart contract that we deploy in your Flutter application. So in your Flutter application, for the Flutter I shared for that GitHub repository, this is how the UI look like. This is how the UI look like. There's a splash screen that asks you to connect. Then once you connect successfully, it shows you this screen where you get to see the list of message that we write into the smart contract. Then you can send the message and you get to see it here. So next slide. Now to start, you need to we all know that you need to create a Flutter project. That's bootstrap the Flutter project. Then we need this list of dependency. Web3 that is very, very, very important. Then we need HTTP, right? We need an HTTP package. Provider is just, you might not need it, depend on your use case, but I just use it for little thing there. It's just for state management. Then JC icon. This JC icon represents, for example, now if I go back to that Ethereum, then I open my MetaMask, you can see this icon. You can see this icon. That's the work of JC icon. If I go back to my slide, and you can see the icon here too. So that's the work of what JC icon does. It's what JC icon does is you pass an address, a wallet address to it, then it automatically generates an icon for you, just like a profile image, and different icon. So you need some of this, then URL launcher, and we need wallet connect that. And for dev dependency, we'll be using build runner and Web3 dot builders. So why do we need build runner and Web3 dot builder? Right? For those of us that are already using build runner before, right? I think I need to share another screen. For those that are for some of us that are already using build runner before, it just allow you to generate some files, depend on the kind of package that depend on the kind of dependency that you had here. Now, let me move to, I need to share a screen. I'm coming. So I believe you can see my screen now. By so in your dev dependency, that's where you need to. That's where you have to. You get to add all those dependencies I mentioned. There's Web3 dart provider. Then there's build runner, Web3 dart builders. So basically, we are not supposed to be using this Web3 dart builder. But you know all this issue about all this issue with open source. The person that was working on Web3 dart package before actually left it, and another person that picked the project to continue using to continue the development. Okay, so another person that continued the development of the package actually removed something from that package, and one way or the other, we actually need that stuff. And what Web3 that builder does for us is that it allows you to once you create for example, now the ABI that I copied is this JSON file. Now, the work of Web3 that builder and build runner, what they do on this Flutter pub run build runner, it helps you generate that class that contain everything that you write into your smart contract. Like I don't let me open it. Once you run the build runner, it generates this file called forum v1.g.dat. So this particular file, because it's being generated by that build runner, you are not allowed to edit it. That's why there's always this comment there that generated code do not modify. You are not allowed to modify because once you modify that is not related to the file you provide, which means that if I change anything here, if I change anything in that file, it doesn't relate to what I have in this JSON file. In this JSON file, that's what it means. So and if you go through to the class that's generate add comment, then we have get comment too. So these are the two functions that we have. Then you can remember that we have an event too, which is what comment add. You can see that comment added. Then it puts something like that there. That is what is an event, not a function. And the event is what is a stream that you can listen to in your Flutter application. Anytime something happens, you can listen to the stream and you get data from there. So that's that, and I can really say that this gives me a experience of working on any kind of blockchain, because if you are using the likes of React.js to build your front end, there's nothing like this in React.js. You have to write the code by yourself. You might not write it in form of a function, in form of a class like this, but you have to write every single thing by yourself. But with the help of build runner and Web3 that builder, it helps you to generate every single code that you need. So for my code there, I think I need to a minute. So I'll be explaining.
Muhideen, can you zoom into your code? Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, can you see it now? Can you see it?
Yeah, I think it's much. Can you zoom it a little bit again? Yes. Okay, I think it's better now. It's better now.
Okay. So here there's something that's supposed to add, but because of time, I was written test, so I just leave it. That one is Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect. I think Wallet Connect modder. Wallet Connect modder. Yeah. So with that, because this Wallet Connect that doesn't work on web currently, I've tested and it doesn't work. But with the help of Wallet Connect and Wallet Connect modder package, we can actually run this code in web, and we'll get exactly what you have on the mobile too. So in the main file, I just have normal stuff there. I think the most important part that I need to explain here is there's this wallet connect helper that I created here. So what was Wallet Connect? Simple. Wallet Connect is a company that builds a package that allow you to, what the package actually gives you is just like a simple a simple authorization. For example, now you are listening to data, right? Just simple, just query the database. That's all. But if you are writing into that particular data to your database, right? There is there's this thing that all these backend guys normally do. They call something like a middleware to prevent unauthorized user from writing into that particular database. And what your middleware does is just this looking for any kind of authentication, whether the user is authenticate or not. So Wallet Connect also actually provide you a seamless something like that. That it allows you to connect to any wallet. Then it now provides you a sign, something we call it signer. We call it signer in blockchain. So for you to write into blockchain, someone needs to sign the message. And basically, I don't know. Well, I think I've described how it look like. Let me share the remix screen again, and let me so that I can actually describe how it look like. Um, I'm coming. A minute. I think it's better. I should share. Um, okay. So a MetaMask is also what? It's also a provider, just like Wallet Connect. For example, now I want to write another message that do you enjoy this? Enjoy this event. So now once I click on transact, right? For you need something you call a signer. So what MetaMask does for you here is that MetaMask will generate the signer. Immediately you click on confirm. The Remix now will now use that signer to send the data into what? Into the blockchain. Without a signer, for example, if I reject it, then this transaction will cancel. That the user rejects the user. So what that means is just like it needs to generate a signature. Then Remix will now use that signature to send the message into the blockchain. And for every signing that you do, there's going to be it's not cost you some fee like gas fee, but it's not much. For example, if I click here now, like yeah, it shows you here that it will cost roughly 0.0000378 Matic. So Matic is the token is a token in on Polygon network, right? So if I click on confirm now, if I go back to my MetaMask, you can see these are the information that relate to that. So the reason why you see 0 - 0.1 minus 0 amount of gas that we use is not up to 1 matic. But if you scroll down, you now see that the total gas fee is which is this, and the total overall fee that you spend on sending that what Wallet Connect also does, right? That's what Wallet Connect also does for us. Um, again, um, okay. What is this? So now, yeah, we need to tell uh, you need to input the bridge. There's something called bridge, and bridge is the RPC URL to that particular blockchain you are trying to have at least minimum of 2 RPC link, because every blockchain have what something we call mainnet and what testnet. Testnet is an environment where you can test uh, without going live, which is what it's just a test environment. While mainnet is what is a production environment whereby anything you push into that, okay, I'm coming. Let me. Mainnet is your production environment, while your testnet is where you test your code. So RPC is a remote procedural call. So sorry. In basically RPC is just like how should I put it? It's more of those who are doing computing and relating it to blockchain. And don't forget, I mentioned like blockchain is just like a large numbers of computer connected together, and you interact. Every interaction is in form of a what? Form of a block. For example, now we said from the statement, from the one of the developer statement, like every seconds, I think Polygon normally generates up to like 300 block at a time or stuff like that. So the transaction, the numbers of block they can produce, and in a block, there's going to be a list of transactions there. Like if I've had more than millions of transactions in a block, but some blocks that are kind of slow, they do have like a RPC, remote procedure call, right? And for every in your backend, there's something called endpoint URL. Mainnet have their own URL, and testnet also have their own URL, right? So that's the URL that we're supposed to provide there. But I write it in form of a way that anytime I want to use another network, I can easily switch from Polygon to Silo, from Silo to Ethereum, from Ethereum to any other network. Then here you need to provide an icon of if it's a production project now, you need to provide your website logo, URL, or other stuff like that. Then here the name of your website or the name of your application, stuff like that. Then we have if you want to reset your connection, that's the work of what this reset does. And this init section create an is where you can is a function that you call between your mobile application and wallet connect. Then you need to provide chain, right? Don't forget, I mentioned that every blockchain network used to have minimum of 2 RPC, which is most of blockchain normally have more than one testnet. For example, now I think currently Polygon have like 2 testnets, but every single blockchain have, yeah, sure. Every single blockchain have just net, just like your normal database. You can have more than one production database. Then each of the nets, for example, mainnet have their own something called chain ID. Testnet also have their own chain ID. The chain ID they are not the same. So you need to provide the chain ID here. Then you can now create a connection. So once you create a connection, the connection will generate something called provider, in which is going to contain your signer, in which is going and once you do that, that will provide us some other information like your wallet address, your balance and some other stuff. Yeah, this function actually give us, we can get particular function, like give us the address, some other balance, and some other like that. Then if you are like you want to like let's assume like you dispose your app, I mean you dispose function actually fire and kill the connection between your application and the wallet connect. So all of this they are just some shit though. You might not even need to write it. Um, I have a okay. Now there's something called ahem because yeah, I'm going to be using normal mobile app to like do the practice, right? And most of this stuff that we're talking about, like MetaMask, they have a mobile application, and for it to work, they make use of something we called deep link. Every single wallet mobile app have their own deep link. If I go back to this function, come here, um, yeah, this URL that we're getting is kind of a deep link that once you click on connect, it will show you list of application that support. You want to open your PDF and it suggests that you want to open with Google Doc or you want to open with Google Slide. So once you click on connect, it shows you like I'm coming. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me here. So what this controller does for me is where I have the connect to connect. Then once I connect, I can get the public wallet address, which is your user wallet address. Then I can now init to the blockchain. Like by click here, so I can now initiate the connection to the blockchain Web3, then provide them the API URL. Then we need a client. A client, you can only get this client from HTTP, and that's the reason why we need HTTP package. I don't know if I've not used this other package for it before, so I normally use HTTP. So just pass the client, the HTTP client here, then you pass the URL to your blockchain. If I navigate there, you can see this is the RPC link to Mumbai testnet, rpc/mumbai.maticfiju.com. This one is for the mainnet. If you are using mainnet, if you are using Polygon mainnet, then so this will give us a Web3 client that already connects to that blockchain. Then we can now call this particular function to like get the user balance, then fetch a comment. So to fetch a comment, you now need to call the class that you generate for your smart contract. Then you need to provide the address of that particular smart contract. Then the Web3 client that you generate, you need to provide it too. So once you pass it there, it automatically create a connection between the smart contract and the Web3 client. From there you can now call the function like, okay, I want to call get comment. Then don't forget that in our get comment function, it has set what a parameter of topic, and the topic we are getting here is what the first minute 2022. So it will return the data for you. Then we can now pass that data to anything you want to pass it to. From here, what I pass it to here is just a class that can help me format those data that are coming. Then I can now notify my UI that, oh, I've got the data, now display for me. Then I have another function, which is what add comment. So that one, what that one does is just to call the add comment. Now, there's something that I do here, which is what after create this one, you can also see that I do wallet connect helper get Ethereum credential. So this credential helping get the address that will generate an hash, which will be used to sign the signature, and that signature will now be using to what to send the data to the blockchain. Once I do that, it will send the comment. Then I can now call fetch comment again in order to fetch to get the all the list of comments again for me, then notify the UI back. So the I have you can actually check it through, but I would like to like show how this thing look like on mobile. Let me stop connect and connect my phone. Sorry, I'm trying to share the links on my phone so that I can just show out the app work on my phone. Yeah.
Okay, all right then. Take your time. Before your phone comes up, does anyone have one or two questions that he can ask or she can ask him before he sets up his mobile? Okay. Jonathan has a question. Okay, Jonathan, you can go ahead.
Okay, what I wanted to ask is there any resources that you can recommend for us to get started with interacting with blockchain with Flutter?
Mujeeb, did you get that? You are muted.
Yeah, sure. I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's once I click on connect to continue. So through the use of deep link, you can now see it shows you that this is the list of on your phone. I have MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Valora, and I think that's the three I have. But I'll be using MetaMask. So MetaMask to now to connect to this particular application. You can see there is a what? A polygon icon here. That's the link that we provide. Then Polygon Mobile, this means that that's the network mainnet or stuff. So it will tell you that the network you are trying to connect to. Then if you click on connect, it takes you back to the app. Then this is the list of comments that we have. Now right. So if I click on send, nothing happened, right? Then open the MetaMask. So MetaMask is asking you that, okay, there's the message, do you want to confirm? Just like we ask on the browser to click send a message. If I open the app again, so basically I've not really done much. I just do this for the presentation because it's supposed to, instead of that app to terminate, it's not supposed to terminate to everything that's happened. That's MetaMask. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing this error, but it's supposed to be showing that error because the RPC link you are trying to connect to is correct. So you're supposed to be getting that error, wrong RPC link. Um, Please, sorry, I just figured out what happened. There's this. I think what happened was the. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know. You're sounding far away from your device.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay, so the view that I have on my phone was using wrong URL. So I just kind of quickly reload the code now. So let's try it out.
Sorry, Tao, you wanted to say something. I see you are raising your hand, Tawhid.
So okay, let's try it. Yeah. So you can now see if I go. Oh shit! Why is this now reloading? Come on. But we're not getting that error anymore. So which means like the data already sent there. And if we listen to the stream, so we're supposed to get a notification on the app that, oh, yeah, already sent, and we get any data that we pass to this, that get it in that stream. And okay, so you can see that last message I sent. Hi everyone, it's now there. So that's what I try to mention, that I don't really do like a lot of proper handling. For example, supposed to do there that immediately, probably like you close the app, and it now tells you that, oh, there's a connection already established. So there is a package that's supposed to use that it store those section for you. So once you reopen the app, instead of try to kind of connect again, you don't need that. So that package handling storing your section into local this part, like the use of this shared preference. So it's kind of save it for you locally. That once you reopen, you don't need to kind of reconnect. So and I think there's another one like when you, for example, like you minimize and you want to go back. For example, when I write the message, like when I write the message, say I, then so there's an handling that I'm supposed to do that immediately I accept the transaction. It's supposed to, when I move to the app, it's supposed to automatically reload for me. Then I write. But here, I just only take care of like, okay, how can I write the message and how can I actually fetch the message? And to listen to stream is quite very simple because you already have the stream. Just do normal way of listening to streaming in Flutter, then you'll be getting your data. So that's the last. Let me stop sharing here. Then I'll now quickly show us something. So so if you go back to testnet Polygon Mobile, then paste the contract address like this, you can now see the last message I sent is 1 minute ago. I sent one 3 minutes ago, and I sent one 1 hour 15 minutes ago. And it tells you the kind of method you call, and the method are the function that you have. But in blockchain, you can only get to see the list of transaction, like, and the list of transaction involve the likes of uh, sending data into blockchain, like making transaction, writing into blockchain. But you can't see of fetching the data because that one doesn't write to blockchain. I don't know, but I think with that, um, uh, so these are some of screenshot I believe I've shared one or two things that relate to like, okay, how can you listing, how can you write a small smart contract and deploy it to Polygon, and how you can connect your smart contracts with your Flutter application. So thank you everyone, and we can now have a question.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mujeeb. We really appreciate this your talk. It's really wonderful, and a lot of people have benefited from it. And I personally have some few questions, and I think some people they have. I think someone messaged you while you're not around. So he was asking, can he get your contact, or maybe after the meeting?
Okay, you can just check me on WhatsApp. Right, you are in GTG now.
Okay. All right, cool. Jonathan, you asked that question. Probably he will drop
Yeah.
his
So
contacts. Yeah.
of GDG Mina, so that's why I don't think I'm in you guys group.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm from GDG Yola,
Yola.
Adamawa State.
Oh, okay. So I think probably before the call, I'll have your contact then. Okay. I don't know. So for those that wants to join, let me just quickly share the WhatsApp link. Give me a minute. So my before I should do that, my first question is with smart contract Solidity, is there any other parts, any other thing apart from Solidity that we can use? If you don't want to use Solidity, you want to use any other one?
Okay, as I said, like in blockchain, right? There are some technical topic. For example, talking about EVM, layer one, layer two, stuff like that. They are more technical, and I mean to even be explained with taking for blockchain node that actually supports EVM, which is Ethereum virtual machine. Most of them are compatible with. You can write a Solidity program. They are compatible with that. Why they still have some other language that you can write. For example, some blockchain nodes support Golang. Right, you can use Go to write the smart contract. For example, I've write smart contract with Python before, like when I was doing some practice on blockchain. It's also a blockchain network, but this their own blockchain network supports you to write Python, and that Python compile it compile your code to some kind of stuff like that that you can use in your what um, in your front end application. Why the likes of Solana support Rust. You can write your smart contract in a Rust using Rust, and you deploy it. Just that they have some of this kind of common stuff like to write and deploy to any network have its own bytecode. But every bytecode is being represented in what in form of binary like 0, 1, stuff like that. But if you're using the likes of Rust, then they are not using this API. They have their own file that once you deploy, they generate the file for you that you can use for your front end. But whatever you are doing in blockchain and smart contracts, right? You definitely address. So smart contract address is like it's more like a signer on its own that points that helps you to point to that. Because for example now, the current address I'm using to is not the one that I used to do the practical on the to do the practice on Remix. There's another address there, which means that you can deploy a smart contract more than millions of times. What only differentiates them is what the address. So that address is where like each is being stored. So which means like, for example, now when we normally talk about this application inside this sort of stuff like that, your backend application micro path, right? So same thing in blockchain, you can do the same thing where you can divide your smart contract into pieces where each of them will have their own store different things there, and you can now connect them together for them to be interactive together. You get. So for now, I think that's what I know. But there's some blockchain that also language like OCaml. Writing with OCaml is kind of crazy because the day I tried when I tried to attend one like that, and they were using OCaml for Texos. Texos is also another blockchain network. So they're using OCaml, and I was like, what's this one for God's sake? So they with OCaml, you can use. They have another language called JS Lingo is also like a JavaScript, like just like a JavaScript. They have one separately for Python, but it's not Python. Again, so each of blockchain actually have the kind of different language that you can write with. But as long as the blockchain supports EVM, right, you can write with.
Done, right? Yeah, I done, Mujeeb.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Okay, good. So the next question is, I don't know, maybe if it is silly or so. Does remix like the way other IDs do auto complete, like suggest code for you when you are typing in a remix? Does it do that?
Complete, right? Because remix is just online ID. So they are still in development currently. Like they are still doing a lot of stuff to like the interface, the way it works. In fact, I can say like the way it is currently now is not how it was last year. Like if you use it like around last year, upper last year, it's kind of crazy. You have to do a lot of stuff, but they are kind of keep improving. I think they even have a community to they train people how to write Solidity stuff like that.
Okay.
But if you are just learning Solidity, you can just go to Solidity by example. I just share a link now by Solidity. They have a full documentation. They have a Solidity. They have an example code that you can test. You can learn every piece of stuff that you see in some of the Solidity program.
Wow, I can
But
see them that
I think
much.
you can try if you are using VS Code. I mentioned that for you to use VS Code, you must have basic understanding of how you can how you can build with Node.js because they use Node.js to do configuration on VS Code, which is using ADAT. I think ADAT.org or something. ADAT. Yeah, ADAT.org. So if you want to be using ADAT, you'll be using VS Code, and in your VS Code, there's a lot of package that you can install, right? That can be giving you that autocomplete, that even beautify what you are doing.
That's nice. That's nice. I think for now, with all the bunch of things I have to install on VS Code, I think I'll just go with the remix on desktop for now, on my browser for now. Okay. Thank you so much. Then I think the second to last question that I have, apart from MetaMask, for you, you have used all this MetaMask and the rest. Which is the best provider? Like which one is the best?
Okay, so basically mostly there's something that they normally say in blockchain. It will tell you that everything there is what is open source, right? So people write contribute to each any network that they feel like, oh, I need to contribute to. So their own uh provider they build. You get, for example, now when I was doing the presentation, I showed one of Silo, right?
Hmm.
Polygon also have their own, Solana have their own, which is called Phantom. But MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Wallet Connect, they are like a major org that that give you this freedom of using custodian wallet. And in a custodian wallet, for every EVM bar, one of the beautiful things, custodian wallet will only give you one address, but you can use that one single address to communicate with any network. For example, now try to share something. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Let me
yes.
try to. So when I open MetaMask, so MetaMask is also a custodian, right? Like uh, the balance, everything that I'm not on any other person's server or something. So and it allows you to hack any network means that it automatically fetch your balance, your anything from that EVM and show you here. For example, now, if I switch from Polygon, then tell you that okay, I only have what 0 Ethereum. If I switch to another network, Avalanche, means that I have 0 here, and I tells you that okay, I have 0 here too. So just like that, that's one of the beautiful thing about that EVM. So with one address and on any network, I don't know if you understand. Same thing with Trust Wallet. So I don't advise that if you want to be building, I mean, you want to build stuff, crazy stuff on use custodian. And most of custodian that people use is MetaMask. Like MetaMask is the most common, right? But if it's mobile, people use what? Trust Wallet. People use Trust Wallet. But I think the problem I encountered when I was trying to build this um particular on the presentation is that I was unable to add a testnet on Trust Wallet. Like I don't to add it. I don't know. But with MetaMask, it's very easy. Just get the testnet details, put it on MetaMask, and it automatically add balance or stuff like that.
Okay, I think that's good. So the last question is there like an article that you have written that will be able to put someone through on this, like step by step guide that you have written?
Um, basically, I don't write article. I don't know.
I know.
I really, I really feel like, well, probably next year, probably I'll be trying a little bit of my best to like, okay, let me also try to be writing something. But I think one thing I suggest is documentation is one of the best teacher you can have. For example, you want to learn how to write solidity, right? I share solidity by example, their website. You go there, you learn, right? And I do suggest like if you kind of just and you feel like okay, currently now I want to start in a particular network. No one thing is that most of all these things they are the same in every single network. Nothing difference. Is it Polygon? Whatever you write on Polygon, both EVM compatible. But most of these people they do have a community where they have a developer community whereby they do used to organize an hackathon, people learn together, they do used to have um, all these normal events that we normally have in GBG, I mean GBS stuff like that. They do normally have probably a weekly event you can attend, they show you things out, how things work. I don't have an app on I don't have any app that use smart contracts on basically app. Let me just say basically app. But I have one that I write, right? Uh, I'm coming. For example, if you click on this link, this the project I submit for one for a Polygon hackathon currently that they're going to conclude it on Monday. So it was written with Next.js, Firebase, and Smart Solidity basically. So if it's mobile app, you can just check the I share a repository link uh, for the one I basically showcase here. You can just check the contract is there, the Flutter app is also there, how I implement it, right? Okay, I think uh, that's one of the big questions, right? There's a lot of ways you can use Flutter is just to build mobile app or you build web, right? Now the question should now be like, okay, what kind of what kind of software or something can you build? For example, the links I share, what I built there is just a little bit of community event management platform that allow you to issue ticket in form of. And what NFT does is basically when you issue a ticket in form of NFT, right? It means like, for example, if I issue ticket to Umar, one can change it, nothing, because you can't change the data on blockchain and they're already on a blockchain. So the ticket ID, no one can claim it unless Umar decides to like what transfer it use case of NFT. Anything you generate in NFT on a blockchain, it's more like a permanent unless the owner transfer it from him. That's one use case. If you are building DeFi, decentralized finance, all these exchange platform, you can build a decentralized platform with Flutter using smart contracts. I know some, like seriously, let me quickly. That's one of the first Flutter app I saw that was built with. That's the first app I saw that was built with Flutter, which is a custodian wallet. You can search for. I'm telling you. I want to try to remember the name. Natrium. I think it's Natrium. Shit. Just of them, but that's the first app that I saw that was built with Flutter. Yeah, I think I found it. Link to the repository for that app. It's a custodian wallet for one blockchain node like that. So, how can we make money with Polygon platform? On Polygon platform with app. Making money depends on the kind of business model you have. Depend on what you are building. For example, you build a app, like an app where user can trade, right? Which means that if user wants to trade, definitely you'll be getting some token now. Bitcoin for 20 naira and you to get 5 naira. Simple as that. So it depends on the kind of business model you have. And probably if it's NFT, mostly I think that's where people normally get a lot of kind of huge money as a creator. If you're a creator, you are the one that creates the NFT. And if they sell it, they get their own money. But anytime they mint the NFT, you are the one that will get the money. To use Polygon, yes. If you are deploying your smart contracts to any network, you are going to pay a fee. If you are deploying to, for example, as we are talking about as an example, if you are deploying to Polygon, for example, if it's testnet, you will pay a fee. But the fee is not even up to $1. Fee, which is I don't think it's also up to $1. But The issue about the fee is just that it depends on the kind of network. Some network charge crazy, and the example of them is Ethereum network. If you want to deploy to Ethereum network, if you spend up to if you spend up to about how large your code is, because the way they normally compute the kind of fee you pay when you are deploying, you only pay for, you don't pay anything. Polygon will not charge you anything. That, oh, okay, since you send something to my be paying this, no monthly wages or no allowance or something that you're going to pay. The only thing you pay is when you are deploying your contract. Uh, that's just it about the fee. You don't pay anything to anybody. You only pay when you are deploying. And the way they normally large your smart contract, the large the fee you pay. But no matter how large it is, you don't Polygon. So about the security concern on Web3, yeah, if you look at the news currently spreading up and down currently, you see that there's a lot of crazy attack. An investor just squander the money, or the creator swallow the money, or some network and carry everybody money. In fact, I think there was from that I deposit like $100 one time like that. Then I like it's been up to like 6 months ago. Then I think like 1 month ago, I can't remember. Then I go to that lending platform. When I check, they said because a user hacked into the server, but luckily they were able to like offer some of the fund back. Maybe you go carry my money and go. So like there's a lot of act around that is going wrong. The only way to to be safe in is that I don't advise people that are like a developer try to learn advanced blockchain. There are some people that they call them auditor. They will audit your smart contract for you. Is this smart contract safe to go? Pay their own money, you will pay them, and they will do the service for you. And trust me, you will be in a safer side because that's what they are good at. But people hear about what's happened is just like basically, don't forget I mentioned that in smart contract there's two types of address, the custodial address. The problem is that majorly people save their fund into what? Into an exchange account, which is one of the crazy things to do if you are in Web3 space or cryptocurrency space. Any exchange, I trust Binance. That's why I keep my money there. Oga, the day they go hack Binance, it go shock you. Put your money into what? Into a custodian wallet. Anything that happens like without your consent, because I mentioned about signature. For anything for a transaction, for someone to come out your money or something, it has to be that you give that person permission, which means that you already signed that particular stuff. Now, there's this another act that happened these days now that even people using custodian wallets, they are hacking them. No, you are the one that caused the hack. We have phishing, all these phishing websites, right? People are building phishing on blockchain too now. That once you are looking for what they normally call it, each giveaway, you then look for put $1, get $20 thief. Unnecessarily, those people, there's something that they called a smart contract. There are some techniques there that it allows you to like kind of more like steal a signature. You will steal that particular user any message, which means like that particular user have to like have up to like $100 or 200 or even user click on confirm like this, it allows you to steal that particular user signature. And once you have the signature, every single token on that account go. So that's how it normally happens for people that are using custodian wallet. So that's why they do advise a website or something, because that can cause an harm for you. But if you are using custodian wallet, you don't click on any. But if you rely on any exchange, look at what happened at this happened. I mean, just of recent, I read that they arrested the guy, but that doesn't even return people of dollars on top of one company, because they are keeping their money there and they are expecting one huge return. So that, I think, basically that's how you can be very careful about the security stuff on Web3.